Did you know that in the modern era of 1998, there was a major incident involving real-life ninjas, resulting in the deaths of hundreds of people? If you think this happened in Japan, you couldn't be more wrong. In fact, it occurred far south of Japan, in a remote village in Indonesia. This incident even caught the attention of former Indonesian President Abdurrahman Wahid, who took countermeasures against it. It was a night unlike any other, a night that the residents of Banyuwangi, East Java, would never forget. The year was 1998, and a shroud of fear blanketed the town. After the Maghrib prayers, the streets were deserted, doors were bolted tight, and the air was thick with apprehension. The source of this terror? A mysterious group known only as the Ninjas. This was not just a tale spun to frighten children, but a grim chapter in history, marked by blood and unanswered questions. The origins of the Banyuwangi Ninja phenomenon were rooted in widespread paranoia about practitioners of black magic, or dukun santet. Whispers and rumors about these supposed sorcerers had already unsettled the community. This fear was compounded by a directive from the Banyuwangi regent, Purnomo Sidik, who called for the identification and registration of individuals suspected of possessing supernatural abilities. Although this radiogram was meant to be confidential, it somehow leaked to the public, igniting mass hysteria and prompting citizens to take the law into their own hands. As the situation escalated, sightings of enigmatic figures dressed in black, dubbed ninjas, became frequent. These assassins, adept in stealth and brutality, left a trail of death and devastation. Contrary to the initial belief that their targets were solely the alleged sorcerers, the victims soon included religious leaders and teachers. Every day brought new reports of gruesome killings, with each body adding to the town's collective dread. Eyewitnesses described the ninjas as wearing all-black outfits, often with masks covering their faces. They were seen carrying weapons such as sickles or machetes. Their movements were swift and silent, with some witnesses claiming they could leap from roof to roof or disappear into the shadows effortlessly. Some reports even mentioned their ability to mimic madmen or wanderers to evade capture, adding to their terrifying mystique. The ninjas' methods were as calculated as they were cruel. Homes marked with red or black crosses indicated impending doom. Under the cover of darkness, they struck, leaving no trace except the lifeless bodies of their victims. Witnesses described these ninjas as moving with supernatural speed, leaping between rooftops, and vanishing into thin air. Some even claimed they could transform into madmen or wanderers, blending seamlessly into the shadows. In response to this menace, the people of Banyuwangi organized nightly patrols, hoping to safeguard their families and friends. Despite their efforts, the ninjas' reign of terror persisted, with only a few captured and many more evading justice. Various theories emerged, some suggesting the ninjas were state-trained operatives, while others believed they were mercenaries hired to sow chaos amid the political turmoil following President Suharto's resignation. The grim toll investigations by numerous organizations, including Nadlatul Ulama, recorded at least 147 victims in Banyuwangi alone. The killings were not confined to Banyuwangi, but spread to nearby regions such as Pasuruan, Bondowoso, Situbondo, and Malang. Each story was more horrific than the last. From hanging and bone-breaking to beheadings, the brutality knew no bounds. Despite the widespread violence and human rights violations, the true orchestrators behind the Banyuwangi Ninja phenomenon remain unknown. The terror eventually subsided, leaving behind a legacy of fear and unanswered questions. Efforts by human rights organizations to uncover the truth were stymied by a lack of evidence and the reluctance of survivors to reopen old wounds. One particularly chilling aspect of the saga was the mysterious disappearance of individuals deemed madmen or wanderers during the height of the killings. These figures, often dismissed as societal outcasts, vanished without a trace, fueling speculation that they were either involved in or victims of the ninjas' deadly campaign. Many locals believed that these madmen had unusual behaviors that made them suspect. Some were thought to be spies or informants for the ninjas, while others were considered to have been killed by the ninjas to prevent them from revealing sensitive information. Their sudden disappearance added another layer of fear and mistrust within the community, as people began to suspect anyone who seemed out of the ordinary. President Abdurrahman Wahid, also known as Gus Dur, recognized the gravity of the situation and attempted to address the chaos. His involvement underscored the national significance of the events in Banyuwangi, which had escalated beyond local folklore into a crisis of national concern. Gus Dur's efforts included calling for thorough investigations and urging the protection of vulnerable individuals accused of practicing black magic. His administration worked to calm the public and restore order, highlighting the need for justice and transparency in addressing the violence and ensuring such tragedies would not repeat. The Banyuwangi Ninja saga remains one of the darkest and most perplexing episodes in East Java's history. The blend of supernatural folklore and brutal reality has etched itself into the collective memory of the people, a haunting reminder of a time when the line between myth and truth blurred into a single, terrifying narrative. Even now, years later, the mystery endures, shrouded in the same darkness that once cloaked the streets of Banyuwangi. In the end, the true story behind the ninjas of Banyuwangi might never be fully uncovered. The collective trauma and the eerie silence that followed the terror serve as a somber testament to the horrors that unfolded. The legend of the Banyuwangi Ninjas, whether a dark myth or a shadowy reality, continues to loom large in the annals of Indonesian history, a cautionary tale of fear, power, and the unknown.